what is up, my mates? I am back with another mate rate, but this isn't one of the three I was talking about. This is a bit of a sort of unexpected one. Yeah, no, I guess we're going to be mate rating Loki. But before I get into the video, I have to say Owen Wilson has some words. He says that if you don't subscribe to NateThyMate, it will cause a Nexus event.
Wow.
I'm just kidding, but please do like and subscribe, of course, if you want to see more of my mate rates or other videos. I do all sorts of things. That's what I do. I'm pretty versatile. Anyway, so let's get into the story itself. So at first I thought Loki would be not that good, just because I was like, oh, it's taking place in 2012. I didn't really look too much into it. My knowledge on the thing was very limited. But when I actually decided to go and watch it, I was like, wow, this is friggin' awesome. Why did I doubt it? But so basically it takes place in a sort of variant timeline of what we know of the MCU so far during Endgame. Scene where in Endgame where they're trying to get it back. But this time Loki actually takes it. So Loki takes it and he teleports off. And this wasn't supposed to happen, obviously, and he gets in trouble by an organization known as the TVA. And he gets to this TVA, and it gives me big Fallout vibes, honestly. I really like it. The whole scenery when he goes to the TVA is really cool. And surprise, surprise, Owen Wilson is a part of the MCU. I never thought Owen Wilson would be a part of the MCU. I think that's really cool. He's one of my favorite actors, just because I love his movies. I grew up with them. They're funny. So that was cool. That he's Agent Mobius, and Mobius believes in Loki, because he's been hunting another Loki, a variation of Loki, who also had a Nexus event. We don't know too much about this Loki other than it's a Loki, and slowly we find out more, and it turns out it's a female variation. They go to Alabama during a hurricane in 2050, and the whole visuals there, it's so cool, like all the rain and just the semi-futuristic aspects of it. It's really cool. But how they found out she was there is because Loki looked into where he might hide, and he found out that based on the rules of the timeline, apocalypses do not get affected. So to test this, him and Mobius went to Pompeii, and that was one of my favorite scenes, just because it was funny how he's talking to them in Latin all crazy, saying he brings them dark tidings. I thought that was great. But so yeah, and then he ends up siding with her more, and they have this whole thing on this planet, Lamentus One, and the visuals there were also stunning. The visuals in this whole show were stunning, but I really liked Lamentus. I think that was my favorite episode for the visuals, with the futuristic look and the purple and the cool rocks falling down, all flaming purple. It was cool. That's like the basic plot for the first 3 episodes, and then we slowly find out more about the story. How Sylvie ran away when she was a kid. She was taken by the TVA and she escaped, and she's been on the run this whole time, hiding in things. And that made her an interesting character, because she wasn't necessarily a Loki, and I think that's how the romance between her and Loki worked, because she didn't really live the life of Loki. So she wasn't really Loki, but she was, because she had traits. Obviously the romance worked too, because obviously Loki is super narcissistic, and that's sort of what we see throughout this whole show, is him being narcissistic, as always. But in a way, his narcissism is slowly fading, because he gets a little humbled, because during the first episode we see him deal with his future and how he's gonna die to Thanos, and how he betrays his family on Asgard, how Thor still loved him in Ragnarok. So knowing that Thor still loved him and like all that happened, he sort of regrets it, and he wants to change his fate in a way, and he's slowly humbled throughout the whole thing, and then the bromance between him and Mobius starts, and that's really cool. I think Owen Wilson did a really good job. He cracked his normal sort of humor, and that was kind of a nice addition, but he also was pretty serious in some aspects. Like when they found out that he was a variant, like you could kind of see his tone change, and he was kind of like, what? Like he sort of believed it. Like he really sold it well. I liked it. As for Kang the Conqueror, or Nathaniel Richards, as I did my research, Jonathan Majors, the actor, I really liked his performance in the last like 30 minutes of episode 6. He just seemed, he really nailed the crazy. I've been alive for who knows how long. I know everything that's happened and gonna happen until now. Like, it was just really crazy. You could see the madness and like how he sold that, and you could see how Loki believed it, but Sylvie kind of was like, I still want to kill him. But even then, she sort of felt regret when she killed him, because you know, he was just crazy and he didn't care that he died, and it sort of weirded her out, you could tell. And I like that. She instantly regretted it because she threw Loki into a portal and was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, even though you probably shouldn't. But probably the clock mistimed would probably scare me a little more than Kang. Not gonna lie. That scene where she pops out, hey y'all. I also like how B-15 started off as, you know, typical annoying, militant, by-the-book type character, but then she gets enchanted by Sylvie, and then she has an awakening because she sees her past life, so her development was pretty cool. And Judge Ravana, you know, she kind of has her ups and downs, and she's complex, and she believes in the TVA, and that's sort of what makes her a little interesting, and she goes off on her own to try and find free will, as she says. When Season 2 comes out, it'll be interesting to see where she ends up. Of course, the music is beautiful throughout this whole thing. I can't play it all, but I will play a little snippet of the intro just because I like it. It sort of gives me creepy, spacey, it gives good vibes to the show. It really captures the theme of the show, but please do not strike me down, Susan. But yeah, here it is. There's lots of other awesome sounds like that. The Lamentus one had a lot of cool music. The Alabama scene had a lot of good... the whole show had such good music. I loved it. Continuing with the story, I loved when Loki met his variants on the dump world, I'll call it. I forgot exactly what they called it. It's like Loki the Kid, Loki the Alligator Loki. You gotta love it. And then there's like a whole Loki battle royale, and it was pretty fun to see. And there's lots of Easter eggs in that world as well. The Thanos helicopter, which that was funny. I don't know the comics well, so I wasn't really... I didn't catch all these until like I saw an article about it later. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And of course I didn't see the Thor frog, and that was great. But I think the ultimate thing about the story that was interesting is it's about a god, that even a god can't defy his fate, and I found that really intriguing. It reminded me, it parallels to Norse mythology with Odin, how he sort of doesn't want to die, and he still ends up being fated to die. Like, he can't defeat fate either, like, so it sort of parallels with that. But in this instance, Loki doesn't really, it starts out that way, like a god trying to defy his fate, but then it turns into something bigger, and it turns into, well, the next big bad guy that's gonna come in. We'll see how Loki steps up for that, but it seems like he wants to fight Kang the Conqueror because he was willing to make the sacrifice to lead the TVA, so that didn't happen. So you see a lot of growth there, that he realizes it's not all about him in ways, that there are bigger, more badder things out there. So Loki's character development and his overall story as the main character is really, really well done. He really grows as a character. I really like it. Overall, it was a great story. I think it is the best MCU show out yet. I haven't watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I have watched WandaVision, and from what I know of Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's more like WandaVision in a sense of it's just character development. Loki is character development as well, but we also spiral into what's going to happen next in the MCU, and it really sets it all up for the new Doctor Strange movie, and how Kang the Conqueror is going to be the new big bad, and it's really cool. Overall, I don't really have any complaints about the show, other than it wasn't long enough. I want more, please, Marvel. But yeah, there's like nothing really badly done about this. I just really enjoyed it. So with that being said, I would put this on the Mate rate as a 10 out of 10. It is a beautiful show. The acting is incredible. The character development is really good. And it just left me wanting more at the end of that episode, with the whole Kang ended up taking over the TVA. That's how quickly it happened, like a snap, like Thanos. It was really insane. It was very well set up. Can't wait for the second season, and can't wait for the Doctor Strange movie that Loki's gonna be in. Overall, it just gave me a whole new perspective on the character. I really enjoyed it, and if you guys haven't watched, I would definitely recommend watching this bad boy. It is amazing. Definitely the best Marvel show out. Perhaps even the best Disney Plus show. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought of the show. Let me know other shows I should watch to mate right next. And yeah, thanks again. I will see you guys in the next video.